Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 65 of FTB Interactions, where today I am making a couple electric pumps so that I can make a vacuum freezer. Hooray! Just set up a little bit of auto crafting between episodes. Also did a lot of cleaning around my base, as you can see. Very nice and tidy. Look at that. Look how fancy. Look how tidy it is. As usual, I have priority 0 on this guy. I have priority -1 on this guy. And as we add more ME drives to the system, we will have lower and lower priorities. I've got all my items stored in the ME terminal. Everything seems to be working just fine with regards to the interactions between AE with the AE bridge mod. I don't know why I had a problem initially with it, but it's fixed. The only problem that does exist still is that in order for the AE system to request items out of the logistics system, it needs a crafter, which I haven't gotten around to making yet. But for the most part, I'm going to stick with using logistics pipes for everything and just use applied energistics for item storage, right? So this is going to be the end of my system right here. Like, that's it. I may in the future migrate over to full-blown AE for logistics and handling, but because we do so much with applied energistics and refined storage, I'd really like to stick with logistics pipes if I can for a while. So I'm hoping that I can, right? And that's kind of the plan, right? Kind of the plan is to stick with this thing for a while. And hopefully that'll be lots of fun. So I'm making a vacuum freezer today. As you can see, I've got a little to-do list of items in my top left that I'd like to get around to playing with. Most importantly, we're talking about titanium. I think that's the next major technological breakthrough for this series. So titanium is going to unlock extreme voltage power. It's going to unlock the warp core, which means I can travel to other planets on my space station. And it's also going to unlock wireless AE, which should be fun as well. So I need some titanium foil to make the 16K ME storage component, which is needed for the security terminal. All that good stuff. I don't think I actually checked the ME wireless access point. Nah, it's easy. A little flux purlin, a little helium is going to be needed for that. I haven't quite looked into what's involved there, but I'm assuming hopefully not terrible. Distillery of hydrocracked refinery grass? I mean, we might pull that off. Centrifuging noble gases. That's cool. Endstone dust. Distillation tower of that same thing. So, is it noble gases? Isn't there a chicken for that? There totally is a chicken for that. I had a feeling. Look at that. Noble gases. 20 millibuckets. Mostly oxygen and nitrogen that you get from that chicken, but it's all good. Where else would you get noble gases? You can centrifuge liquid air, which comes from vacuum freezing normal air. So a couple approaches that we could take there, right? And I want to say the gassy chicken ain't terrible. Am I right about that? Smart chicken, gelid cryothium. That don't look so bad. We can make gelid cryothium, can't we? I feel like we can. Anyway, getting ahead of myself. The main thing that we're talking about for reals is getting into titanium. So let's take a quick look at what's involved in titanium and what it's going to get us. So if we take a look at the space chapter, we will note that one of the next... So like a couple things we should do in space. Number one, I should find a sky cauldron. Okay, that's a thing that we should look into doing. That's cool. That looks neat. Is found in moon dungeons beneath the surface. Yeah, we're going to have to go looking for that. We're going to have to find a good way to, like, find dungeons. Because just wandering aimlessly is not fun. Like, Dyer's not a fan of the wander aimlessly and hope you stumble upon thing. Give me a way to find it, and I'm happy, right? This thing is all about thorium, which is probably going to be important at some point. We'll see what happens. That might be necessary to get to Euclides Prime. Let's see. Is it? Is it necessary? To boldly go where no Steve has gone before, and fusing worlds is required to go there. You will need to craft the Euclides Prime artifact and use it in the warp controller to travel this world. So that's like the next big progression for us, right? So first off, we need the warp core in our space station, and that's going to need some titanium, right? So we know that much. We're also going to need to make the improved Ender Eye, which is going to need some radon, which we can get from the fusion reactor, it looks like. Yeah, that sounds cool. Or whatever, plutonium-244. So I'm guessing this little, quest line here will, Mark of the Falling Tower into improved Ender Eye and diffusing worlds, which will get us fusion crafting. And it looks like you get to craft directly the chaotic tier. So there's no need to craft lower tier infusion dudes. Like, we can jump right into it. Not a problem. That's pretty cool. Ooh, cosmic meatballs. Sounds delicious. And then we can go to Euclides Prime, which is apparently, has oxygen. And that's going to be our next major progress. So warp drive, new planet, requires titanium, and fusion crafting from Draconic Evolution. Sounds like a fun time. So we might also need to do like the Mark of the Falling Tower ritual, which means we need to get to that tier 4 cap on our stuff, which we needed to go to the moon for, so we should be able to pull that off soon. So there's a lot of things, right? A whole lot of things to get around to doing. So that's kind of the plan for the next couple episodes, is work towards that. So step 1, which is today's episode, is going to be titanium production. Then we'll get into blood magic upgrades. Then we'll get into, whatever else. Mark of the Falling Tower we're going to need, all that cool stuff. So anyway, I've got a vacuum freezer. So let's look at how to get this thing built. Now, I'm thinking about sticking that in my old basement down here. So let's look at what's involved in making titanium, right? So titanium needs to be cooled in a vacuum freezer. It's a pretty quick process to cool it, so I'm not too worried about that. Hot titanium comes from a blast furnace, which needs 2141. So cupronickel, no. Canthal, yes. So we're going to need a Canthal tiered blast furnace. Can we get nichrome yet? What's involved in making nichrome? What's involved in making nichrome? Just for the curiousness, it needs a blast furnace too. Hot nichrome. Okay, that's good to know. And nichrome is chrome plus nickel. I mean, we have that, right? I think we have that. But that also needs a temperature of 2700 K. Okay, cool. So we need to make Canthal in order to make the nichrome furnace, right? And I don't think that that's going to make too much of a difference. Once we get up to here, we get into like energy discounts and stuff, but we'll make Canthal first, so that'll definitely be a thing that we need to do. And that'll allow us to get the hot titanium. Now, in order to make this, we need magnesium dust, which I have on my to-do list here, which apparently I think we can find on the moon. Magnesite ore is one of the moon minerals, according to the space quest over here, magnesium, right? Magnesite ore, it's in this grouping of resources that we found on the moon, so I can only assume that's where you get that, right? In addition, we're going to need titanium tetrachloride. Titanium tetrachloride is rutile dust and carbon dust. Now, we have nigh infinite carbon dust, right? Is this carbon dust? No, it's silicon dust. One of these dudes is carbon dust. Here he is, carbon dust. So we're good on carbon dust, right? I'm not going to worry about that for a little bit. So that's cool. And the other thing we're going to need for titanium tetrachloride is rutile and chlorine. Chlorine we're good on, right? Like, we know we've got the salt thing under control, I think. And if we don't, we can... I think there's a way to automate salt completely. I don't know if I've done it yet. I think I've just been collecting salt in the world. But I think there's a way to fully automate that. So we'll get that going. And that shouldn't be too bad. Not bad at all. And that'll make carbon monoxide and titanium tetrachloride, which this is the stuff that we really want. So we combine that with our magnesium and we get our hot titanium ingot. So that's the crafting line, which doesn't look terrible. So step 1 was vacuum freezer. We totally want to get that going. Now, I'm trying to think about how I want to do my big multi-blocks, because I know we're going to want more multi-block stuff, right? We know that coming up in the future, we're definitely going to want more of these blast furnaces. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to have so many multi-blocks in the big building that I've designed here for ourselves, right? I know everybody keeps yelling at me for not having enough blast furnaces, and I'm about to make another one, but still, we're going to need a lot more blast furnaces, right? So we're going to need a lot of multi-block spacing. So I could throw it up in the attic here that I have. That might not be a terrible idea. So this could be my multi-block area, right? And what we could have is just like a bunch of power lines coming up for the multi-blocks. That might be cool. So we could like run our HV cabling up here and get multi-blocks happening up here. That might be a cool idea. I don't know. We'll see. But let's see. First things first, let's get our mana steel cables. Do we have some mana steel? Not bad. Not great. Oh, no, we do have mana steel. Good. I thought we had some. Let me get 20. Oh, you don't know how to make that many? Okay, cool. I would teach it, but, whatever. If I did that, mana steel ingots. Oh, we're short on mana steel? Okay, cool. We want blue steel. You know what? Does mana steel have a cheaper recipe now? Because I remember there was there's wrought iron makes 1, 2 comes from blue steel, 4 from stainless steel. Oh, that's cool. We're not great on stainless steel at the moment, though. Don't we have like a keep in stock thing here? Why are we short on that? You know what? It's because, yeah, you should be making more stainless steel. I guess we're low on the resources for it, maybe. Things and stuff. So you need iron. I think we might be a little bit low on chrome or magnesium, maybe? Or nickel. Let's see. Chrome, meh. Magnesium is what we're low on. Yeah, we're going to have to look into that. So lots of things that we need to get around to doing. Anyway, let's get started because I really want to get this going. So we've got our mana steel cables that we're going to need. I'm guessing this guy, let's take a look at the multi-block pattern. He's going to need an energy input hatch HV. Does he have to be HV? Okay. Because I thought vacuum freezer was MV. These are all MV, aren't they? So does he need an HV input? Interesting. Interesting. Energy input hatch HV. Oh well. We'll just do it because why not? Energy input hatch HV. So we'll request one of those. While we're here, we've got a little bit of magnesite ore. This is what we get. Is this where we get magnesium? I think so. Yes. Cool. Okay. So I've got a little pyrolusite here, which, by the way, is how we can get what we need. Manganese and impure, which turns into more manganese. So, yeah. What the pyrolusite does do? More manganese. So, yes. That'll get me my stainless steel back up and running. So there's my energy input hatch for a vacuum freezer. So what we actually want then is signalum cables. Let's get maybe 32 sounds good. You'll give me the 22 you have now and then craft about 10 more. So that should be good. So they should be making their way over here, I presume. Hey, look at all this stuff coming out. It's cool. I like it. It's really neat. The whole interaction there. I really do like that, right? I wish it could extract more than one single item at a time. That's a little bit slow. So like if it needs 30 of something, it does like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 instead of, you know, let me pull out 30. But I mean, that's like a nitpicky thing. It's not the end of the world. So I ain't gonna lose sleep over it. All right, so up here, we're gonna connect into our HV line. We will probably have many of these. So let's plan for, where is an HV cable that's like an output? So this is energy going into this thing, right? And this is also energy going into that thing, or is this output energy? This might be output energy, yes. All right, so that's energy out on the top. Okay, so this is where we're gonna want to do HV. Is this, that's mana steel, so that's LV. Did I still not get like proper flight yet? Dire, please. So you're going to want to come up here, buddy. Okay, that's not terrible. And that'll get HV line into here. Now what I might do, would this be... you'd kind of see it in the roof of the other building. Like I made this one thickness, but it doesn't seem like a terrible idea. We're probably going to want to run this in the floorboards, right? So yeah, we should probably stick with that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll be running this stuff down here, right? But then in addition, we'll be having this stuff. Okay, I like that. Yeah, or what I could do, I do like how fast this stuff breaks, though. That's the best part of it, right? And we could run it, you know, the machine's here, and this could be our, like, HV multi-block machine line. Yeah, that works, too. All right, so let's just review this thing real quick again. So the multi-block is frost-proof machine casings all along the bottom, right? And I assume that's just a straight-up 3x3. So let's stick this, like, right against the wall, right? Cool. And then you're going to go here with the energy input hatch for HV tiering. And we've got way more HV power than we have MV anyway, so it's smart to go this route. Do I want to move this over one? I think I want to move this over one. Let's do that. Because we're going to want to access the side of it, and it's going to get super annoying to try and do that. So we're going to want that to be cool. Energy input hatch. And then we're going to have, let's do output on the right. So output bus here. And this will be output hatch for fluids. And then this will be input hatch for fluids. And this will be input bus for items, right? And then, boom, vacuum freezer. HV 1024 idling. Nice. All right, cool. And then what we're also going to want is probably an HV powered blast furnace with Kanthal blocks. So let's get this crafting, right? So I'm assuming that you don't know much about Kanthal. You don't. You don't. So Kanthal wire comes from Kanthal ingots, which come from vacuum frozen Kanthal ingots, right? Which needs Kanthal dust. And that's going to be aluminum, iron, and chrome dust. Okay, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. So we could mix with that if we want, but we might as well just like vanilla crafter it, right? So let's do 10 of you and 10 crafting logistics pipes, and it'll craft 4 more for me. Thank you. That's looking good. And there's the partial of those. So down here, and I should probably just do a little bit of healing up since I did so many falls. So Kanthal dust is what we're going to want here. Okay. And then Kanthal dust is going to be turned into hot iron or hot Kanthal. 80 seconds. Oof. That's a long time. Did I ever switch this guy over to HV? I want to say I did. So he should be at EV tier is what he should be listed as. Yes, because I've got 2 HVs in the back of him. So at least not too terrible. Are you really full? Are you really full, though? Like, do you really need to be full? Ugh, that's annoying. You know what's most annoying about that? Everybody who told me that I should have more than one of these. Also, the part that's super annoying about that is that because we have some fluid crafting here, we can't use the crafting manager. So what I'll probably wind up doing, let's see, is there anything in here I don't super need? I mean, aluminum's pretty important. I need that. Chrome is also important. Silicon's important. Signalum's important. Stainless steel's also important. Let's borrow you for a sec, is what I'm going to do, and let's get a chest. And what we'll do is we'll switch out some crafts as we need, right? So, like, if we look at this and say, like, hey, we need to make silicon, we'll have to swap it in until I have more of these. I know everybody who told me I needed more of these. I know. I know. Okay, I know. So Kanthal dust goes into the blast furnace, and hot Kanthal ingots come out. Cool. And now it's time to connect up there. So let's go see how we're going to link these guys up. Okay, so you're going to be output hatches, right? So we're going to probably need you here. I'd love for you to come up there, but you're just going to be annoying that you're not going to let me, are you? Just so happens that glowstone's there. All right, so here's where we want, and we're going to want our logistics pipes and whatnot. But we're going to need a satellite pipe. We're going to need a chassis pipe. Let's get 4 satellites, right? And then we're also going to need our unrouteds. Yeah, just give me, we're missing 3 coal. That's an odd thing to be missing. Still missing 3 coal, okay. To do coal, we'll just get the 25 of you, and then the basic logistics pipes. We're just gonna hope that 7's enough. Go ahead and give me those guys. Cool. So unrouted's coming in, basics coming in, and then the satellite is being crafted for me. That'll be cool. I don't know that I necessarily need 4 of these. I'm just making them in advance because I know we're going to eventually need them, right, for other things. So over here is where these pipes are going to be going up, right? This is, yeah, this is our line up here. So what? Let's, how do we want to run this? So that's unrouted. We're probably going to have more things here, right? So let's break this dude and turn him into a basic. And then you can have... How do I have so many unrouteds in my inventory? Am I crazy? What? Maybe I had them from before. And just remember that's a visual bug. They are connected. So then what we'll do is have another here so that some things can go up. And then this guy... And that should be cool, right? Okay. So you're going to be the output hatch. So that's where the chassis goes, right? Now let's go get our satellites that weren't done crafting yet when I left. Satellite logistics pipes. Okay. And then you're going to come up here and you will be the input hatch. Actually, you're fluids, aren't you? Your items. Yeah, that's what we're going to want. Okay. So you're going to be Freezer 01 for satellite. And then you're the... Yes. So a little dire wiry, but I think it's what you've come to expect. Cool. And then we can put this guy in here, and we're basically just going to say that hot Canthal goes into the freezer satellite, and regular Canthal comes out. Sweet. And then the wire mill gets a Canthal recipe, right? So Canthal wires is 2 per ingot. Cool. And then finally, the assembler gets a recipe. So Canthal coil, LV's fine. Only takes 2.5 seconds. And program circuit 8. That's a 1. That's an 8. Perfect. So you're going to get a recipe. Canthal coil blocks for 8 2x Canthals. And then finally, we have to teach you how to make 2x Canthals. Getting a little bit full down here. And there you go. So now if I were to request... Now, real quick, I just want to check the recipe here, or the quest, because there is a quest for this in the main technology line. If I make 8, I will get 8 more, and I need 16 total, so I should make 8, not 16, so that I get, yeah. So Canthal times 8. Missing 1 chrome dust. Wow, of all the things we're missing, 1 chrome dust is what it comes down to. All right, I should look into where to get more chrome. So remind me where I get chrome dust from? I kind of forget. And I knew we were low on it too. So there's ruby ore. That's right, rubies. Rubies. That's our primary source of chrome. Yeah, ruby dust turns into chrome dust. I think that's what we've been doing for the most part. So rubies, and then all the chrome items. So rubies really is where it's at. Do we have rubies in here? We don't really. Well, that's a bummer. We're gonna have to go find some. Okay, let's go. Ugh, I think I have to go mining. Believe it or not. Yeah, let me go mining for a few minutes here. I'm going to put away some stuff I don't necessarily need in my inventory at this exact moment. And we'll be back in a sec after I do a little bit of mining for ruby. Can I remember where rubies are? Let's see. I hope it's on the map still. It's been a while. Or sapphire, or astral, or galena, copper, tin, redstone, tin, coal, lapis, tanzanite, or ignis, or diamond, emeralds, iron. I mean, I did a lot of exploring earlier in my days. Redstone, copper, iron, more iron, coal, quartz, diamond. Hey, there's manganese. That's cool. I should go get that. Because you know that we're like low on that. Near oil, astral temple, something. There's got to be a ruby around here somewhere. I'll find it and come back. So just as a reminder, guys, ruby is found with redstone. Yep. Had to totally look that one up. I forgot. All right, guys, did a little bit of mining. Got some coal here. Got some ruby going on. Processing more of the coal that I got. And what I want to make is I want to have an HV ore processing line because it's about time we get around to doing that. And because I need the ores, I'm going to do it. So universal macerator and ore washing plant we've made previously, right? We set that up. What I'm going to do next is, and it's raining. What I'm going to do next is make the HV thermal centrifuge, right? That's how we turn purified ores into centrifuged ores. Now those things are a little bit slow, so we're going to see how we like it. But we needed a couple Kanthal wire, which I requested, and it kind of worked out all just fine. So that's cool. And then we're also going to want an HV hammer, if I can. Advanced Forge Hammer, HV tier, right? So we will request one of these as well. It looks like we just need an anvil to help out. 26 iron ingots. Are we low on iron again? Put it past us. Yeah, we are. See what I mean? See what I mean? We're low on all the ores. That's why we need ore processing automated. So we've got a little bit of iron, magnetite. But there's iron up on our space station, so we can go snag that real quick for sure, because I know there's iron up there. I was hoping there would be coal. There is not coal. I was hoping there would be ruby. There is not ruby. But I do believe there is... Whee! Up into space. We got to get the space station oxygenated, by the way, because it's totally annoying to me that it's not. But there's definitely iron up here, right? Yes, dense iron ore. We will grab a stack or two of that. Doesn't hurt. So, like, do we want to bother? So here's the question, right? Should we waste time quadrupling that? Because that iron is basically an unlimited amount, right? So I'm going to say no, let's not waste our time quadrupling that. We'll just process that stuff immediately, right? And then, but the ores we have to manually mine, like ruby and all that stuff, we will continue to run through this thing. Because that stuff we have to manually mine, and I don't want to have to manually mine things, right? Fair enough. So you guys go ahead and turn into the clusters for me, and we're going to be getting lots and lots of clusters. So off with you, on with you. Really need to get around to better armor as well. Everybody was like, don't do dark armor, Dyer. And I'm like, but I love the dark steel. Enderio dark steel is like my favorite armor, and you guys know it too. And everybody was like, no, Dyer. No, don't do that. And I was like, but I want to. Meh. So anyway, ore processing has become the episode. That's the way this pack goes, though. There's always just like, you know, one thing spirals into another. And it's just like I got to the point where I'm like, I am tired of all this backlog of ore that I've got. I want to either get rid of it if I don't need it or process it if I want to, right? So, you know, just saying, not for nothing. So now we should have a bunch of iron clusters as well. So that we can, let's go ahead and process one stack of these iron clusters the old-fashioned way. But the goal is to have an HV version of this process that's A, going to give me more resources, and B, fully automated, because this one I have to babysit a little bit. Babysit because it's slow. Like, yes, I could just throw this in here, but it's slow, and it would take a while to process my big backlog of ores. So I'd rather make this an HV automation line, right? Like fully automated HV. What I should probably do is move it down here. Is this my HV line? Yes, it is. So I should probably move it into the basement, because basement is intended for like the pure automation of things, right? So I should move those 2 blocks into the basement and then put the other 2 that I'm making down here as well, right? That's gonna, I think that seems like a smart move on my part. And then what I can have is just like a fully automated ore processing line, because it's about time we have that, right? It's about time that we have that. There you go, beautiful. Anvil. So HV thermal centrifuge. That would be you, sir, which we should have everything we need for. Perfect, perfect. And I'm gonna sort you. And I'm going to sort, well, actually, no, you need to be there still. But I want my signalum wires. Do we have more signalum hanging out? We have a couple more. Not a big deal. Okay, so then HV forge hammer. So remember, like, the last step is either hammer it or centrifuge it. And, you know, we're going to hammer it because it's cheaper and gives you the same resources. Right, so then you can get all the things we need for the advanced hammer. Let's move... Do you have, like, smartness at the moment? You don't. Universal macerator and ore washing plant. So let's bring you guys downstairs. Right? And we'll probably want a couple of chests. I think I've got a few here. Let's get a couple diamond chests. Does that sound cool? I mean, they're just sitting in the AE system not being used, so why not? And then you're working on just a handful of more stuff. Okay, so let's get 4 of you. And I really need to clean up. We're wasting stuff down there, but you're going to be the macerator, right? So you're going to do that, and then you're going to be the ore washer, and then you're going to be the thermal centrifuge. That sounds cool to me. Now I'm hopeful that these machines only accept the items that they can process, because if so, it should be relatively easy to automate with item ducts, right? And that's what we're going to try to do. That's what we're going to try to do. And we're going to see if we're successful with it. Because we're going to have these guys that are usually going in there, right? So they can only be pulverized. And these guys can either be... so yeah, we're going to want to do a thing, right? Yeah, we're definitely going to want to do a thing. We're going to have to figure out how that thing's going to work. But we're going to want to do a thing. Anyway, let's figure out how this production line is going to work, because it's going to be a little tricky to automate properly, right? That's what I'm thinking. So you're going to have a chest here and a chest here, let's say, right? And then this will be the input chest for things like iron, okay? And we're going to want... Now, here's the thing, is there's side results of things, right? So iron, crushed iron ore. So you're always going to give me just pure crushed iron ore? Is that usually how your native iron clusters work? How about pyrolusite? That seems to be also the case. We should keep an eye on that and see if that's true. So you're going to, on the down, extract on green. Okay, we're not going to activate any extracts. On the east, you're going to insert on green and extract on brown. Okay, now you over here are going to need some fluid keep in stock stuff. So fluid... supplier, supply fluids. Give me one of those guys. And then 30 AU, please, would be nice. And give me my basics too while you're at it. Cool. So, like I said, that part's a little bit slow, but it's livable. Okay. So you, universal ore washer, need to not be connected. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. What did I just break? Okay, cool. Were you actually not connected to anything fluid-wise here? Oh, good. Oh, good. I guess you were trash canning. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to pretend like everything's okay there. And hopefully, maybe I should get that upgrade, dude. I was hoping that disconnecting him, but now that I remember we had issues with that before, let's get the upgrade dude and the chisel. And the reason for this is we want to make sure that there's no connection, right? So disconnection upgrade. There you are. And then there is, can I? No, I can't. Over here I can search by mod though. What's the red thingy called? Pipe controller. There you are. Much better. And then you're going to get water. Partial yes, 8,000. 8,000 should be enough, I think. Perfect. 8 buckets of water. So you're going to extract on brown, and then you're going to insert on brown. So what we're going to do is when we process these, they're going to turn into this. Then they're going to go into the ore washer, right? Now, what I really want to make sure of is that the purified stuff goes into the ore washer, and the tiny piles and stone dust go elsewhere. The trick with that is I don't want to have to do a filter for everything, right? Because that would just get super annoying. So I can start off with kind of a solution. Let's see how this works out. So you're going to be blue. I'm going to insert you on blue, but I'm going to give you a higher priority, right? And then I'm going to extract you on purple, and you will be an insert on purple, and then extract on blue, and on down, you will be insert on blue, right? So what should happen... Well, no, because you also... See, you're going to turn into that, which will have that as an extra. Then you're going to have that as an extra as well. So what we should probably do... I have an idea. What if we had everything come out of here on blue, and everything on come out of here on blue? So you can actually both extract on blue. Yes, I like that. So you go from here to here, and then both of these dump into this chest. Okay, now here's the question. Can the purified one be forge hammered? It can. I really want it to be thermally centrifuged. So... kind of an issue. Because what'll happen is, so like when this cleans, right? Let's start with the process, right? So down here, extract on green, so he should start processing. And then extract on brown, so he should start going into here. And then extract on blue is on, extract on blue is on. Right? So this guy will be dumping all these things into here. Right? In theory. Oh, what are you doing? Thermal centrifuge. How does that work? I don't want you to be insert on blue yet. But, like, what do you do in a centrifuge? Right, yeah, no, you shouldn't be in there, tiny nickel dust. That is not what you should be. So you're going to allow tiny nickel dust into there, aren't you? Yes. All right, so he doesn't limit what's allowed into him. So we might need to add filters to this guy. Okay. So we're going to need another... We're going to have to do the filters. I don't think there's any way around it. At least not that I can think of. Right? I think we have to do filter. Right? So you are going to insert... Let's have you on the east. insert on purple. You're also going to be insert on purple. You'll extract on blue. You'll insert on blue. You'll extract on blue. And then you guys are just going to get filters. Yeah, that's what we have to do. And then you on the down are going to extract on purple. And then that's what we're going to have to do. I don't think there's a way around that. I might be mistaken. There might be a clever way to do this without filtering, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have to do filters. So I'll just have to modify the filters to include which types of ore can be purified, right? And it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I was really hoping to find like a clever way around it, but I don't think there is one. So then what'll happen is you, on your inserted purple, we don't care about priority anymore, but you will have a whitelist, right? And then same for you. You will have a whitelist. So that on down, we can now turn this on and nothing should be happening, right? So this stuff is happening without any filtering. And then everything lands in this chest, right? No, what are you doing? Stop. You have a whitelist. Insert whitelist. Maybe it doesn't like that it's an empty whitelist. Well, anyway, purified iron ore should be on your whitelist, right? And then you, sir, can have centrifuged iron ore on your whitelist. So now nothing should be going into the forge hammer. Right? Nothing should be going into the forge hammer except for your purified or centrifuged stuff. Right? Does that sound fair? Yes. And then we're getting iron dust out of it. Okay. So that's cool. So I put these guys in here along with this, and what we'll find is everything does what it's supposed to do. Right? So you will be crushed, then you will be cleaned, then you will be purified, and then you will be hammered. Okay. So not the best, right? Not what I would call perfect, because I really wanted to avoid using, like I said, the filters, but it's what we're going to have to do. It's what we're going to have to do, and that's okay. Life goes on. So you're going to do all the ore washing, which, you know, this thing's not particularly fast, but it is what it is. It'll be fine. What I might do is throw some HV. Let's get 4 HV batteries if I can. Do we have those? Medium lithium batteries? We don't have any big batteries. HV large sodium batteries. Did we not teach you how to make these? I guess not. Like, we know how to make small ones. Really? I didn't teach you how to make anything battery? That seems weird. I could have sworn I did. But, meh. It's wrapping up point. So Devil 20 signing off. What I'll do is I'll make a few batteries between episodes, so at least I can come tick accelerate these on demand if I want to. But this will be my ore processing line, right? And what'll happen is I'll put my rubies and my pyrolusite in there, and now everything will soon have an ore processing function that we can do, right? And I'll start going through all my ores and processing it. So at least this is somewhat automated. It's not super fast, but I don't need it to be fast. I just need it to be running. So that's not a big deal, right? So we know that in here, we're going to want purified, can I do this? Purified ruby ore? Good, I can do this. And purified pyrolusite ore. And then here, we will say centrifuged pyrolusite ore and centrifuged ruby ore. Okay, so that when it gets to that point, once it processes all the iron, which, you know, it's actually making good progress on. It's not too slow. You know, we'll get her all done. And then I just take my iron once it's all done. That's stone dust. I should probably just like void the stone dust or something. I don't know that I need it for much of anything. We're going to have a lot of it. I could just like barrel it. Might not be a bad idea. And then we'll know that, you know, the excess that lands in here is going to be the excess. That might be a cool idea. I think I like that plan. Yeah. That seems pretty good. This thing's a little bit slow as well, to no one's great surprise, right? But whatever. All right, Double 20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.